Hey everybody, welcome back into another stream. Hope you're all doing pretty well. If you can hear me, let me know how the volume is. I'm really excited to share this game with everybody. It's one of my favorites. So I'm just gonna mute my stream that you probably hear on top of it. So, okay. Now I can actually hear myself think. There's a little bit of audio mixed up on my part because I was trying to adjust my volume levels before the stream. So now you should probably be able to hear me properly. Bethoto Suri, welcome back in. Mortis Volt, as always, and Solanthropus, welcome in. Game audio higher than my voice. Okay. How does it sound now? I haven't changed anything, but I can adjust it on the fly. What was it Mother was warning us about? I'll explain that in just a second, once I get the audio good. I forgot to turn down the latency again. Still a bit loud? Okay. How does that sound now? And if you guys could give me like a rating of like 1 to 10 for my voice versus the game, that'd probably help a bit too. And now we're like out of the music section of the thing, so let me pop up the credits real quick and then turn everything back on. Alright, so how does it sound now, all over again? Hopefully this isn't too bad. And Bloomu, welcome into the stream. Nice to see you again. Not loud enough, needs more cowbell? Okay. I turned it up ever so slightly, so hopefully that's good for now. If it's bad, you guys just let me know and I'll adjust it from there. So, welcome into another stream. Today we're doing something a little bit different. If you're a new viewer, I typically cover Soulsborne style genres, and a lot of my community are really big fans of those games. So if those topics come up and you want to avoid spoilers, I do want to give you a heads up for that. So, as you can see, this game is called Tactics Ogre Reborn. It was originally released in Japan on the Super Famicom, and it wasn't ported to the West until it got remade for the PlayStation 1. And it was one of my favorite PS1 era games. So I'll be quiet now so we can all just watch this cutscene.
Long a center of naval commerce, the people here have struggled throughout history for dominion over these shores. Finally, there rose a man to put an end to this conflict, Rogalawa Ogre. History would know him as the Dynast King. Rogalawa took the disparate races of men calling the islands home and united them as one. He encouraged marriage between clans, forging bonds to strengthen his newborn kingdom. For fully half a century, the Dynast King reigned, and Valeria knew prosperity. But the embers of discord smoldered. Upon the death of the king, Abuna Branton Morn incited the ruling Buckram to declare the independence of their royal city of Heim. Yet the schemings of the Abuna had only just begun. Backed by the Holy Lodician Empire to the north, Branton created the Buckram Valerian Kingdom, naming himself as regent. He would have seen his rule span the Isles were it not for Lancelot Tartaros, High Champion of the Dark Knights of Lodis. Lancelot warned against such reckless expansion, and reluctantly, Branton reined in his troops. This left two clans to vie for supremacy in the south, the Galgastani and the Wallister. 7 men in 10 were Galgastani, and on order of Hierophant Leandor Balbatos, the Galgastani declared blood war against the weaker Wallister in a move to claim the south as their own. Valeria watched as the wholesale slaughter of the Wallister race began. Duke Judah Ronway led the Wallister in resistance. They were far outmatched. In the span of half a year, they had been brought to their knees. Balbatos proclaimed the kingdom of Galgastan, and with it an official end to the blood war. But these things would bring no end to Wallister's suffering. A piecemeal resistance continued, Yet with their duke in chains, efforts flagged. The remaining Wallister were confined to a small province allotted them by Balbatos and the Gargastani. There, the survivors resigned themselves to eke out such life as they could. Victory begets peace, and for once, the battlefields of Valeria stood silent. Yet none believed the calm would last.
That was actually really good. I'm pretty impressed with that. Yeah, so if anybody had ever played the other versions of the games, they didn't have that intro. I think that was a better introduction to the series than in previous versions. It seemed like it was pretty high value. There's a little bit of wonkiness with like the voice levels at times, just from the recording, but overall, I think that's a really good intro. So, as I was saying earlier, this is one of my favorite RPGs. This is essentially like the predecessor to Final Fantasy Tactics. And so for people who have been fans of the Tactics style genre, many people have just kind of heard rumors of this game but haven't had too many chances to play it because it only came out on the PS1 in very, very limited supply. It was really rare. And it came out on the PSP, so not many people actually had access to that console to even begin with. So I'm really excited to be able to share this game with others. If you've never played it, I really enjoy the story. To me, this, even though Final Fantasy Tactics is an amazing game, this game just always had more of an appeal to me. It just felt a little bit more mature, and the combat felt a little more mature as well. I know I'm just kind of repeating myself there because I can't think of what else to say, but
The Valerian Isles.
Oops. Okay, there we go. Yeah. For those who don't know, the Ogre Battle series names were taken from the band Queen's song tracks. So Tactics Ogre, although it's called Reborn in this version, the original version is called Let Us Cling Together, which is a song by Queen called Teo Toriate, Let's Join Hands, kind of. So just a little bit of trivia about that. And one of the other Ogre Battles games comes from Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, all other Queen songs. So we'll just go ahead and dive in, and yeah, glad you're here.
Tactics Ogre.
Oh, so it was in the PSP version? Okay, I misremembered. It's been a long time since I've played that one. So one of the cool things about this game is just kind of the intro sequence. You get to choose your birthday, and as you can see, we have the Gregorian calendar up top, although maybe this isn't Gregorian or whatever. We have the normal style calendar up top, and then it kind of gets translated into the game. So the months here, I think, are 15 or 16 days? Or did they change it? Okay, 25 days. Okay. So I definitely didn't remember. So yeah. How many months are there? Oh well, it doesn't actually list the months by number. It's not that big a deal. I typically just choose April 1st. Just because. So, Rex Cosmos, thanks for joining in the stream. Hope the VOD goes up. Yeah, so we are going to be having the VODs archived in the live section of the channel. And Mortis has only played the Fire Emblem games and Dark Deity being a personal favorite for the sheer amount of replayability. So speaking of replayability, this game has so much replayability, so much value, that it's insane. The PSP remake did an amazing job of allowing the player to not necessarily go into New Game Plus exactly, but you can kind of rewind time and go down different story beats. And so that's one of the biggest appeals of this game over Final Fantasy Tactics to me. They have a very similar flow in that your choices can alter the story, but this one, I don't know, it didn't feel as streamlined as Tactics Ogre, as Final Fantasy Tactics. It felt a little bit more gritty and kind of realistic, even though it's very obviously high fantasy inspired. And part of the inspiration of the game comes from the Balkan Wars, so there's going to be a lot of interfactional stuff that you might not pick up on a first playthrough, but as you go back and play it over and over, you start like getting a better feel of like their affiliations and stuff. Not that like you can't get it the first time through, but it just feels more organic the more you play it, I think. And so after you select your birth date, you can choose from some like predetermined tarot cards that will kind of affect your alignment and things like that. So how do I define victory? Vanquishing my foes, ending the conflict, preserving my allies. I'll just choose the middle one. I really don't want to get into like the philosophical answers for everything. Of the many evils men do, which is the most damning? Deceiving others, sacrificing others, stealing from others? It's a good question. I'm going to guess sacrificing others. I don't know, they're all pretty bad in different ways. It's just like, what degree of stealing is it talking about? I mean, no deception, because that can start wars. Yeah, I'll go with deceiving others, because that could be bigger, even though sacrificing... It's like they just kind of tie together, so whatever. And one of the cooler things is the tarot cards that we get right here are a little bit randomized. So depending on which ones you get, you'll actually like get these tarot cards in your inventory, and you'll be able to pick up more tarot cards throughout the game. But it's just something that's really nice about actually starting a real new game if you are ever interested in doing that. And what thing do you stand above all others? My beauty, for sure. My wealth and my wisdom. Because this is a lore channel primarily, let's go with wisdom. Game immediately asks philosophical question. Yeah, and so it's just one of the things that I really enjoy about this game, and I think kind of like sets a tone that's different than Final Fantasy Tactics, even though there are like a lot of similarities between the games. Like, I don't think I mentioned it directly, but like the developers who originally created this game on like the Super Famicom, a lot of that team went on to actually create Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics, so they definitely mirror each other in many, many ways. A devil will grant you any wish for a price. What are you willing to endure? Grotesque disfigurement, complete isolation, and relentless fear. Based off of COVID, I don't think complete isolation is that terrible. Methoda would rather be lied to or stolen from than sacrificed. Understandable. But I feel like you could be sacrificed based off of a lie. Like, I guess they kind of overlap, but yeah. A fire engulfs your home. Whom do you save from the flames? My beloved, my child, or my parents? I feel like my child is probably like the most obvious answer. But I mean, I don't have one, so my beloved. Blue Mew says, Meat Snow carried on pretty much the same thing, just through a Final Fantasy lens. Yeah. And so I guess we get to choose our final tarot card. Whose blessing do you seek? So these are probably the remaining ones? Wait, did I select? Okay, no. Oh no, these are the gods and goddesses. Did they ever have portraits like this? Maybe not. They look pretty fresh, except they kind of go a little bit blurry. Imagine a 2D image having a motion blur. Zoshanel, the goddess of fire. Lunaram, the goddess of ice. Hanala, the goddess of air. Vasa, the goddess of earth. Nestarat, goddess of lightning. And Gruza, goddess of water. So this will affect your character's like element affinity. So this seems like a really important choice, but as far as I'm aware, it's a little bit negligible, and I do know that they changed some of the systems around so that you could like boost stats a bit more. So I don't know if it's a bigger deal this time around. I feel like they probably added in some like mitigation systems. So did some of the devs work on Triangle Strategy? Because that game was a masterpiece of storytelling. I don't know. I wanted to get into Triangle Strategy, but Elden Ring came out, and it's on my list, my ever-growing list, and this is kind of like my first like big break from Elden Ring, other than like playing Destiny 2 on the side. Okay, Triangle Strategy is a whole other team. Makes sense, just because it's such a long gap between the games. So remember, this game came out in the early 90s, whereas like Triangle Strategy came out like last year, or this year. Yeah, if you love storytelling, Mortis, this game is definitely for you. And there's a lot of like secrets and branching paths. So I'll take the Goddess of Air as my patroness, just because, I don't know. I think that's traditionally what I did. Which path will you walk? The curtain rises. Man, the remade music is so good. There's blood on my hands. How long till it lies on my heart?
It's as we heard, Denim. Lancelot's returned.
I think I need to advance the dialogue manually. Okay, that's cool. So, yeah, going back into like the music, I think I screwed up the name earlier. Instead of like Teo Toritate, that doesn't make sense. It's Teo Toriate for the Queen song, and that's where we get like Let Us Cling Together from. For the original game, obviously it came out on like the equivalent of the Super Nintendo, so it was chipset based music. The PSP remake had a completely different sound system as well. It was still like computer generated, but for this version of the game, they actually used orchestral symphonic arrangements, which is just something like every time that it's going to be in a game, or if like a company like produces a symphonic assembly of a game's music, I am down. I am all about that. So I might just get a little bit lost in the music at times. I listened to like one song of the new OST before like setting up streams, so that way I could like get intro music and outro music, and it's just really good from the very little that I've heard. So, all right, going into it, Bloom, you really seem to know quite a lot about the game. As far as I know, like the original director of this game actually came back onto this version to kind of update things. So this is, even though like it's a remake, I guess it's about as faithful to the original vision as you could get. I do think the sprites look a little bit not like washed out, but like super anti-aliased. I don't know how I feel about it. Like the backgrounds look really good, but the actual character sprites leave a little bit to be desired for me. I almost wondered like if it would have been better if they did like a hand painted cell sprite or something, but who knows. As far as this goes, I do think it looks really good. The portraits look good, but it's just like the actual sprites just kind of stand out to me as being like a little bit off. And Matt B, welcome to the stream. Oh, he streamed it a few times some days ago? That's amazing. I didn't even hear about that. I'm sad I missed it. Thanks for letting me know, though. I'll have to, like, look into it.
Then it's time. Right, sister?
Time to end this madness. We can't beat him, you know that.
What are you saying, Kashua? You'd have us pass up a chance like this?
So far, the voice acting isn't, like, too bad. It's pretty good. So the girl's name has been something that, like, plagued fans for years, because as you can see it romanized, it looks like, I don't even know, like, there's just so many different ways that people say it. In the PS1 version, the English one of that game, I think it was, like, Kachua, K-A-C-H-U-A? I might be misremembering. Oh, no, maybe that's, like, the actual... I remember, like, her Japanese name is Kachua, so the fact that they have it voice acted now will probably alleviate a lot of people's issues with trying to pronounce these very stylized names. But I do think they fit the setting really well. So, he has them up on his YouTube channel? Okay, sweet, I'll check it out.
It's foolishness to think the three of us might defeat the Dark Knights.
They're the ones who have been foolish, and we stand to gain. Don't tell me you're scared. If you've lost your taste for blood, I'll do this myself. That's enough, Vice. Let's go.
No, this won't end well. And what do we gain by taking their lives anyway?
Lancelot is captain of the Dark Knights, and they are the source of Barkram power. Kill Lancelot, and you remove one of the pillars supporting them. The Barkram will falter, if only for a moment. Yet that moment will be all the encouragement the Galgastani require. They want Valeria for their own.
The turmoil of the last war has only just settled, and you'd start another.
Are we Wallister so free of turmoil now, Kashua? We are less than vermin in their eyes. Insects to be crushed underfoot.
If war begins anew, we'll die just the same.
Shh, they're here. We'll flank them. Denim, go round behind. Right.
So one of the things that just stood out to me in that like intro there is like the voice acting quality is really good, and I like the additional like sound effects that they put in on like the armor for the characters that like walked in. And just one of the things that also stands out to me now, like looking back on such an old game, is just like the kind of I don't know to call it like cinematic quality, or just like the quality of its direction in terms of like its storytelling. You do see the characters emote and they like turn and walk at like certain set points for like the story beats, which is kind of good for like that time of the game. Like obviously like none of this stuff like really stands out today, but I'm just kind of like reminiscing on some of the older aspects of the games, I guess. So this is the kind of battle system. If you're familiar with Final Fantasy Tactics, it's pretty much the same. I don't think we can rotate the map in this one. I don't think it has like a 3.5, or maybe it does, and I just don't remember the actual commands, or it got changed. Interesting. So, D-pad. Okay, so that controls the oh, okay, it's on the right stick. Yeah, because the PSP doesn't have a right stick. This makes sense. Okay. Can zoom in, zoom out. So, obviously, like, this gives, like, a 2D perspective. It's a little bit trippy, but it does give you, like, a better vantage of, like, the paths, like over here that you can't necessarily see. So you might think, oh, there's like 2 spots over here, but it's just 1. Okay. Undead Necromancer, welcome in. You were just thinking about getting this game. You're a huge fan of the Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, so this caught my eye. This, in my opinion, like it's way better than Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I only played like a small bit, so take that with a big grain of salt. But I cannot recommend this game enough to fans of like the genre in general. Would you say it's worth it for $50? For me, absolutely. For me, I would have paid more. I actually paid the $60 just to get like the extra soundtrack. I mean, it's just the game soundtrack, just because it's fully orchestrated, and to me, that's like fully worth the money. And just like the story for this is really good. There's so many classes, and they just kind of work together. And this feels like a really fleshed out world that it's really easy to just kind of get lost in. And especially with like all the voice acting, it really just it's a transformative experience just from like, the 10 minutes that I've done the story so far.
Who goes there?
Friends of the Resistance, and no friends of yours.
The Resistance?
I expected a warmer welcome than this. They're children.
Wait, do you even know who we are?
You're Lancelot, and that makes you my enemy.
Lancelot is my name, true. How is it that you know me?
How could I forget you? The Dark Knights laid torch to this town only a winter past.
The Dark Knights? But we come from the kingdom of New Zenobia to the east.
And Lancelot of the Dark Knights has but 1 eye. You have 2.
1 eye, you say? Would that he lacked my name as well. His reputation, it seems, does me no favors.
No marauding knights us, but mercenaries come looking for work.
I am Lancelot Hamilton, a holy knight of Zenobia.
And I am Canopus, the one they name Windcaller. Our aged companion here is...
The Starseer, Warren Oman, at your service.
Mirden Warhorn, a knight of Zenobia, as it please you.
Gildis is my name. There now, no need to be frightened.
I wasn't. I don't know what to say.
Forgive us, good knights. But perhaps this meeting might benefit us both. We have need of strength such as yours.
Ah, tell us your tale then. We are strangers in this land, and I would hear more of it.
Vice is my name. It would seem that you are not our enemy.
I am the Sybil Karshua, and this is my brother, Denim.
So this kind of gives us our first story beat that we can choose from. As you can tell, you start to get a better understanding of the characters. Vice is a little bit hot-headed. Kachua is more calm and mature, but she is a little bit more calculating, and you can take that what you will. And Undead Necromancer, yeah, I would definitely recommend playing this game. So rip your money, but I think it's well worth the money. Believe you me, like I buying this multiple times over, if that's any indication of like what I think of the game's quality. So, I'm just gonna go with "You Must Forgive Our Error" just because I do like to be on the better graces of the people that I meet. But just to give like a bit more context of the 5 characters that we just met, they are actually at least 3 of them. I don't remember if Gildis and Mirden are in the original Ogre Battle game, but Lancelot, Canopus, and Warren can all join the protagonist of the previous game, Ogre Battle. And for people who played the original, there's going to be like this added association of like the quality of these characters. And so it would be a little bit strange that some of King Tristan's, the last protagonists, damn it, not me, his closest supporters would come into like a completely different kingdom. So it's a little bit of a head spin in terms of like starting a new game if you were familiar with some of these characters. So
I'm Denim. Please, forgive our error.
Already forgotten. Though you did give us quite the surprise. Now, do you think we might talk somewhere out of this wretched heat?
We have just the place. It's not much, but it's secret, and it's safe. As it is, we lack swords enough to face the Galgastani. The Bakram share our deficit, a deficit they've remedied by joining forces with Lodis.
So Lodis sent them the Dark Knight's Loslorian.
Loslorian is an order under the direct command of High Priest Sardian, ruler of Lodis. They are said to be the greatest of the 16 orders and the High Priest's favorite besides. Yet he uses them not in open battle, but in shadows and secrecy. They are his ears and his dagger. They are as dark as their name.
And these Dark Knights, whatever you call them, are backing the Bakram, eh?
So, why are you come to our isles?
all right, so that's kind of interesting that they kept the nay in there. I don't remember the PSP's script, but I wonder if that's just like an actual Japanese nay that they put in and they just didn't translate it, which I think is actually a really elegant solution because it's kind of hard to convey that flavor of nay. I mean, there's like the Canadian A, which is almost exactly like nay, but it just seems like unintuitive for a lot of people to just be bold enough to do that with like the localization. So I think that's a really good choice if it is, but enough linguistics nerding out for me.
Does Zenobia think to claim Valeria as her own? Do Lodis and Zenobia mean to bring their wars to our shores?
Enough, Vice.
Your question deserves an answer. We are Zenobian, after all. Yet we do not serve as knights of Zenobia. We were banished, cast out.
We're outlaws. No place waiting for us back home, nah?
We've come to find work, preferably of the well-paying variety.
I don't trust you, and I don't trust your story. This is our fight.
Vice, please. Lord Knight, you must forgive our passion.
There is nothing to forgive. Tell me, what will you do now?
For one, we have to get Duke Ronway out of Almorica.
Duke Ronway. He is your leader.
Not just us. He leads all the Wallister. The Galgastani hold him captive in their castle. They plan to execute him, if the rumors are to be believed. And we mean to stop them.
A duke? But if his purse matches his title, a little rescue work might be just the thing. How about it, Lancelot?
Look, I'm sorry for not trusting you. It's true that if we're to rescue the Duke, we're going to need help.
Then there's nothing to be gained jabbering on here, nah? To Almorica Castle.
Wait! The castle is well defended. A fight there would mean our deaths. And yours, Lord Knight. And I've seen enough of fighting. Enough of death.
What about you, Denham? Would you have our aid?
So I feel like for them personally, it'd be a little bit strange to just trust these knights that came into the kingdom, and a little bit strong to request their aid just because of like actual like logistical reasons. Like, how are they going to provide for these knights? This isn't their like conflict, so I'm going to go with there's no need.
No, this is our fight. I must decline your offer.
What if I told you we make for Almorica too? Not to aid you, but to fight for our own purpose. The arrow of the nobleman and the hunter may find the same hare, though one shoots for sport and the other for his supper. What say we work together, while such cooperation is to our mutual benefit?
Why not let him join us? I have a feeling they'll come whether we want it or not.
Good, then it's settled. We will prepare at once.
So, you're surprised at the number of decisions in such a short time span?
Do not heed me, brother.
It's... They do seem a little bit negligible, but as you can see from Kachua's dialogue right here, they do actually affect like the alignment you have with your allies. So even if every choice isn't like super significant, I do really like how this ties in. Like it actually feels like you're living with these people. They react to what you do to a certain degree.
I know how you must feel. But what of my feelings? I don't want to lose you. Our father is dead. A hard truth, but a truth all the same. In all the world, you are the only one bound to me by blood. I couldn't bear to let you die. Forgive me. I know my words will not sway you. Only promise me. Promise.
Oops, I clicked it too soon.
What's keeping you? Everyone's ready.
So I think I did screw up. I don't think her dialogue actually changes, but yeah, there are some beats that will definitely change. And even like the way that you complete some of the battles will change the story beats, which is just so good to me. And hopefully we'll be able to show some of that off. And what Blue Mew says, from what they recall, all choices lead to certain endings. The third chapter shows all the results of your decisions. And the nice thing about, like...
You can't coddle him forever. He's no little boy anymore.
The Wheel of, like, Fate tarot card, or whatever it's called in this one, you can actually go back and go down those different paths and choose the different options. So tons of replayability and tons of value. This game is super story heavy.
Do not speak to me of my brother. He does not share your lust for blood.
I have no love for war, but I'd sooner die on my feet than on my knees.
You would die on the backs of others.
You were the one who brought them in here, Kashua.
Because when I find a tool well suited for a job, I use it. At least one of us has the sense to recognize an opportunity. You should thank me.
Is that how you see people? As tools? I'd have expected more of a Sybil.
So a Sybil in this game is like part of like the religious caste or order. So yeah, there are going to be some of those terms that come up that aren't too obvious. Like Abuna is another one of them. Mortis likes her.
I only want to see an end of death.
So, when we go, not options, would I press data? Okay, so I click my character. So one of the better inclusions into the game is like the Warren report. I don't remember if this was in the PS1 version. I know it was definitely in the PSP version. And this is like one of the best features in like any remake that I've pretty much ever seen. So, okay, Wheel of Fortune, not Fate. So this kind of gives us a way to actually go back and review all of the events of the game. So if you're like, don't play this game for a month or two and don't remember what happened, you can be like, what did I do? And then in the middle of the screen right there, you can press the icon to actually replay the cutscene that goes along with this. And in the PSP version of the game, there's actually some extra lore that you can get from going back and looking at some of these story beats that you might not have experienced like in the first person. So they're going to be like events that happen elsewhere. So I really enjoyed the way that they incorporated that into the game, because there's going to be like a lot of an exposition dump that goes along with it, but it's not necessarily shoved down your throat. So if you do go searching for it, you can find it. So that'll just like replay the thing. That'd be the intro. Can I skip this? Okay. Have to press like the start button first. So this is setting the trap. So nothing too groundbreaking quite yet. So this gives us like some of the info of like the battle that we didn't have to fight there. Tidings is kind of like the same thing, but just without like the Wheel of Fate fortune. So you can just kind of like go R1, L1 real quick through that stuff. So, and also in the Warden report, we can see the stats of the enemies that we've killed, the amount of the enemies that we've killed, and like their races. So that does tell us that the game is tracking that kind of thing, so it might be relevant for like subsequent stuff. So these are like some like the rumors that go around the world, and so anniversary celebrations. On the 1st of Godscale, the Bakram Valerian Kingdom celebrated the 2nd anniversary of its founding. Festivities were held across Heim to mark the occasion. Regent Branton Morn announces plans to mend damage done to the Hangen Gardens in the war. A great tragedy has taken place during the Bakram Valerian Kingdom Foundation Day celebrations. A procession of the Dark Knights of Lothlorien has met ambush. No Dark Knights were harmed, but a number of onlookers were caught in the conflict. 5 were killed and another 21 injured. It is not known who instigated the attack. So this gives us more of the backstory of what happened to like Duke Ronway, the dude in Almorica Castle, whom we're just going to go try to rescue shortly. The King of Galgastan has announced Duke Ronway is to be executed in the coming days. The former leader of the Wallister Resistance has been held at Almorica Castle since his defeat several months past. It has come to light that the knights seen recently in the vicinity of Goliath hail from the kingdom of New Zenobia to the east. Some fear they may be scouts coming for a coming invasion, though they deny any such charge. They have taken up with a band of rebels, and a close eye will be kept on their conduct. So those are like all the little bits of info that we've got right now. And now we also have like a bit of a biography section of the game, and this will actually update over time as like people's positions and things like that change. I won't go ahead and like read everything now, but I do want to show this off because this is stuff that's kind of easy to miss. So they did bring up the Dark Knight Lancelot, the one whom they confused the other Lancelot for. And you can actually see like his character portrait, and he is indeed one-eyed. And so yeah, if you're ever like wondering who the hell they're talking about and you're just clueless, the Warren report really goes into depth to kind of alleviate those things. Consumables. I wonder if crafting is in this version of the game. I kind of hope not, because there's a little bit of a drag on the last one. Shortcuts. Oh, I can scroll down here. Okay. X plus up and down. Or is this the Xbox X? Okay, Xbox X is a square. I do wish Steam had more incorporations for like PlayStation style UI in controllers for their games. Okay. I know in the PSP version of the Warren Report, you could like actually look at the jukebox kind of the music that you listen to, and it had commentary of the composer, which was just a little bit invaluable to me. I really enjoyed that. So this is the world map. To the east is the kingdom of Zenobia, so we actually don't get to see it, so this is only a section of the world. So strongholds are made up of multiple battlefields which must be fought back to back. You can save your progress before beginning the next battle, however you cannot leave the stronghold until the series of battles is completed. It is highly recommended to use separate save slots within a stronghold. So this there's like actually like some pretty sprawling levels, and like the final like end game dungeon is just a gigantic stronghold, which is like a test of your party and stuff. And it's also optional.
Are you the rebels what been hiding out in Goliath? Here to save your Duke, is it?
That's
2,000 goth on that one's head, boys. Half the purse to him what brings him down.
The narrow stream, scarce one pace across. Easily jump this. Watch. But look before, ne? You can only jump to ground of the same height or lower.
One of the winged, like me, moves with no heed of height or terrain. Even so, rushing in alone without someone to watch your back is asking for an early grave.
Always keep a close watch on the action to see who will move next. Avoid unnecessary actions and keep speed on your side. The distance a unit moves and the actions it takes determine how long it must wait to move again.
I actually don't think I knew that. I know that they updated some stuff with the combat system. I wonder if that's an update or if it was just always that way and I was oblivious.
The order in which units act is called the attack turn. Keep a close eye on this. You can sort units by order of attack turn to quickly tell which unit will move next.
When a unit's turn comes round, you can command it to move, act, or use skills.
So if anybody's ever played like Final Fantasy X, the battle system's timing is kind of similar to that in terms of certain actions will allow you to move faster and move before other enemies and get you delayed. So it's not quite as action based. It is obviously still a turn based, but it's not one team moves and then the other team moves, kind of like chess or something like that, like some other games.
What's more, you can issue these commands in any order you see fit. Think on your choice as well.
Nice of Murden to explain it. Yeah.
The command to move can be cancelled at any time. If you find a unit out of range for a planned attack, try moving it to a different location.
Units begin battle with no MP, that being the font of all magical power. Units accumulate MP gradually over time. Powerful magic requires greater amounts of MP, so think ahead before casting a spell.
So that's one of the ways that the game kind of balances the power of magic, because it's typically really strong or mostly useless, to be honest. And by making it accumulate over time, it kind of puts them at check, because if they just started with a bunch of magic, you could just pretty much constantly heal the damage you take. So there is a good chance to what am I even saying? There's a good chance that if a battle's over quickly, magic users aren't going to be that effective. But if they drag on,
Are divided into 4 broad categories: action, support, auto, and special.
they can become one of the more powerful types of units on the battlefield.
Units learn skills as they gain levels, according to their class. That just now was Meditate, an auto skill. Auto skills will sometimes take effect before your turn comes around. Use this to your advantage.
Okay, so that is different, because I think you used to have to manually do it. And I know they did change it so you could have 4 skills per character. And the PSP version had classes gain levels individually rather than characters, which I was not a favor of. So I'm extremely excited for the new revamped combat system. So hopefully it's more in line with the PlayStation 1 version.
A conjurer of magics must do more than learn a spell to wield it in battle. you must assign your spell before you enter the fray. Assign spells to your units from the party screen. Be sure that you don't forget.
You'll need a class mark in order to change a unit's class. Some class marks can be found for sale in shops, but not all are to be had so easily. A unit's level doesn't change when they change classes, so if one class isn't working out, a new line of work may be in order.
Interesting. Okay.
There's no reason to go making things harder on yourself than they already are.
To use common consumables, such as Mendleaf in battle, you'll have to prepare before you're on the field. Up to 4 may be ready. Best choose them with your unit's needs in mind.
So this tutorial is a lot more robust than the previous games.
Take heed of the enemy's element before striking. There are 8 in all. Air, earth, lightning, water, fire.
Go planet!
Light and darkness. Each element has its strength. Air against earth and so on. It can be enough to give you the edge you need. Each unit has a level, but so does your party. Your party's level will rise as you lead them to victory in the stages to come. And remember, a unit can't advance beyond the level of the party.
So yeah, Mortis, there are like the elements, and they do have like elemental advantages like in other
One
games.
whisper of Ronway's execution and out you come, bold as you please. A rat can smell a trap, but not all rebels, huh? High time we were rid of your lot.
Support skills are just that. Skills that provide some passive benefit to the user.
I told on my age with that one? What did I say? Oh no, I'm old.
When I move, you'll notice yellow points of light near me on the ground.
Oh, yeah, the Go Planet. Definitely showed my age.
This is a support skill called Rampart Aura. Any foes entering the range of the aura will be unable to move further until their next turn. Some support skills hinder the enemy's movement, while others might grant enhanced strength. Consider well your class and lay of the battlefield when choosing which to use.
So the damage values seem to be a lot higher than I remembered. Maybe they're the same. So one of the cooler things about Tactics Ogre, the original, was like when the archers did their projectiles, they could actually go farther than their intended ranges based on their height. So if you were higher and shooting a target lower on the ground, you would be able to effectively shoot further than the bow's normal max distance on a level playing field. So I know they've altered things somewhat. I don't know if that's one of them. Also, I just noticed that they turned the volume down on the music slightly when the characters are speaking. I noticed that earlier, but it just kind of also stands out now, which is a pretty nice touch, I think.
Trap, and we walked right into it.
Trap or no, we fight or we die. I've never let a Galgastani get the better of me, and I don't mean to start today.
Focus, Vice. Our first duty is to save the Duke.
Don't lecture me on duty. Your only duty is to stay alive.
You should not speak to Denham so. He was only trying to help.
The other thing is some of the projectiles, like the crossbows, are linear, so if there's territory in the way, they will not be able to shoot through certain kinds of terrain. And same thing with some of the spells, which can be kind of annoying at times. So that is like a projectile spell, and that can hit objects and kind of get stuck.
You're no Wallisters. I know a man from Lodis when I see one.
As someone not familiar with the lore here, why does the redhead guy have wings? So he's a different race than the other kind of more humanoid characters. So the main characters are Wallister. So Denim, Vice, and Kachua are Wallister type races, and the other knights are Lodician, and I forget what like Canopus is called. But all of those dudes are winged. He's actually like a special unit amongst them, so you can get more winged units later on in the game as well.
All right, Denim. You shouldn't let Vice get to you.
I'm fine, sister. Back to the battle.
Oops. So the other thing is, like, once units die, you can pick up their items, which is... I think that's also in Final Fantasy Tactics, I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time since I played that, actually. And you can even get some buried treasure, which is also definitely a Final Fantasy Tactics thing. So, depending on what you pick up, they can alter the character stats. They might have changed it around for them to actually be, like, real pickups, as opposed to, like, character-specific pickups. So that way you can allocate them to who you want, rather than whoever just steps on them. I don't know, though. Leather gloves, Dynast King's Mead. There is also falling damage, as you can just see there. With the shield bash, he did that much damage? Holy crap. And also the enemies can pick up items. Wait, did I get that? They used to be able to, like, grief the player. I wonder if he's gonna drop, like, a double portion now. So frontal attacks have less accuracy, like in other tactic-style games, and side attacks have higher accuracy, so let's do that. Oh yeah, and I forgot, like, other than the bows, you can actually throw stones if you don't have anything equipped, so you always have a kind of projectile. They don't really do a lot of damage, as you can see, but it's just one of the things that I've really liked in the games, and certain units can actually deal a lot more damage with, like, the rocks and stuff. So, bucklers are good for, like, displacing enemies, like, back over there. So, like, when Vice hit the wizard, he knocked him down. So that's, like, kind of a property of some blunt weapons. Damn, Vice might get got. The first battle, no less. They really did it like that.
Sorry, then. I'm out. And I'd better not hear any grumbling.
So as you may guess, like, the kind of automatic fling is not a thing most of the player-controlled characters will get to do. So I think I'm going to just kind of go for the archer, maybe to get more loot if I can.
Looks like our luck has turned.
Sweet, picked up Vulcan Lance. So unlike Final Fantasy Tactics, where you just kind of like level up immediately upon like killing enemies and stuff like that, you do that at the end of the battles in Tactics Ogre. Okay. So they're not awarded to individual units, but to the entire party. Each unit which participated in the battle receives a portion of the total when the battle ends. Only units who survive battle receive experience points. So rip Vice.
The way inside is clear. Stay on guard.
Leave the heavy lifting to us, Denham. Cover our flank. That's all we ask.
So I should be able to equip different weapons now. So rather than the short sword, I didn't pick up a long sword. Okay. I can put consumables on. So we got the Menleaf, Xanowine. What is Sense? Oh, remove stun from a single target. It's at the top. So I can just equip multiple consumables? Interesting. So I do have Vulcan Lance, but since I don't have the aptitude for this character to cast the spells, I can't use it. So it looks like I'm leveling these up individually. And I have proficiency. So the more I use something, the better I get. Okay. Skill level 130 experience. Oh, so I can choose to level these up, like individually? I wonder if Rock Throw... What's the 1, 2, 3? I don't actually know. Okay, X plus left and right? Okay, so this will show me what classes I have, or... I don't... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Oh, okay, so this shows what, like, aptitudes are for each class. That makes sense. Assign units. Interesting. Oh, because you level up as a party. I wonder, like, if that just gets shared, your proficiency. Okay. Hisatswaza. Wine is a mid-battle consumable seems ill-advised, yeah.
Something the matter? I rather like things the way they are.
Okay, that's funny. So I wonder if I can... Is there a help option for this? Because I think you could, like, toggle over the character's name. Oh, I need to click him? Or not? Is there a certain button I need to press? Am I just blind? Oh, wait. This unit looks favorably on your decisions and shares an understanding with you, so like we're good buds with Vice. More often than not, this unit speaks in support of your decisions. This unit supports you in all things, a loyal ally to the end. So that's like the most positive affinity that you can have. Which is kind of ironic that complete strangers trust you more than your sister. Okay. Oh yeah. Did I pick up any good armor? So maybe I actually need to be in the character. I thought there's like an actual armor thing. We could like look at everything. Maybe there is and I'm just blind. So I think I didn't get anything like super good. So Denim has his own necklace and his sister has the other, and they just give you more like physical and like mental stats to begin with. But that's about it.
A fine time for this, with Master Nyberth away. Listen well. We face the rogues who slew Bapal and his men. Underestimate them, and share Bapal's fate. Give these rebel swine a taste of Galgastani steel. Almorica shall never fall!
Looks like, okay, Vice is back in the battle. That makes sense. I mean, it doesn't, but I'll take it. So if I do that, I will like slow my turn order down, but whatever. I just kind of want to show it off. So this is pretty much the end of like the actual tutorial section beyond this battle.
Why do you meddle in our affairs? Our struggle with the Wallister goes back generations. It's no concern of yours. Or do you seek to claim Valeria as Lodis does? I will have your answer.
We are men without a country. We have lent them our swords because it suits us to do so.
And we're looking for mercenary work, as it happens. Not hiring, by any chance.
And worry you'll leave for a bigger purse? We don't need outsiders to do our killing.
So this gives us some pretty good context as to the kind of conflict going on within this kingdom. Galgastan is more or less pincered between Lodis, a much larger kingdom, and Zenobia. And when he says, you'll leave us for a bigger purse, that just kind of reveals that Galgastan doesn't have the resources to rightfully compete against both.
He makes a good point. Let's rescue this Duke, collect our reward, and be done with it.
The craven who would choose lucre over loyalty deserves only one reward.
So there are some like incantations that they'll just kind of say a little bit randomly. Lost souls who wander across the land become as thunderbolts with fiery blaze return to the mother's blessed embrace. I'm a little bit surprised this wasn't voice acted. I mean, I don't really care that much, but it just does stand out a little bit in comparison to everything else. Actually, it'd be really cool if like those things came up when they did like crits specifically, because then you'd be really excited to see them. And it'd give a little bit more meaning to just like how random they are at times, I guess. They are slaughtering them now, holy crap. And we got some armor blocking our way. May as well just go for the attack if we actually like get to pick up all the items this time around. So Denim does a lot less damage than the Knights, which makes sense, like thematically. Vice about to get killed again. So I won't be able to kill either unit, so I'll just advance myself forward. And maybe Vice will be able to finish off... never mind.
Sorry, Denim.
So he just does that at low HP in general. I think that was also the same in the original. But I do want to finish off the Witch, because you have a higher chance of, like, getting spells from them. And spells can be kind of expensive in shops. I guess the nice thing about having, like, party experience is for healers, they might not get the chance to build up a lot of HP naturally. So this kind of helps them out. Got a bow, that'll be nice. I was hoping the, like, little sconce would block any projectile style attacks from that witch. I'm not going to be able to reach her. So I should not have advanced. I should have, like, tried to lure her closer. But we'll probably just kill the knight dude anyway. Okay, rip.
My life for Galgastan.
So we get 3 Knight's Marks, so now we should be able to change classes to the Knight if we want. Level cap. So we're at the max level because we screwed up with Vice. Oh, so they leveled up. I wonder if that's from you specifically, because that might make it a little bit harder for casters.
The taste of freedom is sweet. You have my thanks. Sweeter still that Wallister youths came to my aid. Denham, was it? Doubtless you and your friends are a gift from the Great Father himself. The Wallister boon is great, and our future bright.
We are not alone in our loyalty. Upon word of your Grace's release, many Wallister have left their haunts for Almorica.
And there is still time before the Galgastani come to remedy my freedom. Though not long, I fear. We must regroup. Now I must ask if the tale our guests have told us is indeed the truth.
Upon my sword it is. We are outcasts from our land.
I do not doubt your sword. It is the whiskers of your companion that give me pause. I hear a diviner matching his description was ever at the side of King Tristan when your new Zenobia came into being 2 years past. And that you, Sir Lancelot, were captain of the Holy Knights. Is the Saint King so brazen as to cast out the very men who placed him upon the throne? I, too, have heard tell of this diviner, but I am not he. Lodis plagues us with the Dark Knights, Lost Lorien. How do we know that you are not some new menace visited upon Valeria? If new Zenobia does not seek to usurp, I would have your proof.
Your Grace, these holy knights risked their own lives to win your freedom.
A man can claim knighthood only when he serves a worthy lord. It is for such a man that we seek.
I have your word, then, and its proof
shall be in your deeds. You sought a reward. You shall have it. And employment besides. I would have you train our Wallister loyals as guards and soldiers here in Almorica.
As you wish.
Stand up and push in the chair. Little things like that.
Now, Denham, your father was an Abuna in Goliath, was he not? I met him myself once. A wise man, Abuna Prancet. What happened in Goliath was a tragedy.
Please, Your Grace. You must avenge our father. No, all the people of Goliath.
Yet the enemy before us is Galgastan. They must come first. And for that, I will need knights. Knights such as yourselves. Will you join my table at Almorica?
Us? Knights?
As young heroes of Wallister, you will serve as a shining example to your clansmen. I would have you become knights in my direct service. Well, what say you?
Of course. I mean, as you wish, Your Grace. I know Denham's with me on this.
Excellent. Now, if you are to be a knightly order, you will require a name.
So we can input the names for our order of knights. 12 characters, but this number may not be limited by the width of the text. Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. Kind of funny. Party name is Shadow Scale. So that it just gives you like the month that you chose for your birth. Shadow Scale is fine enough. I wonder... I mean, it probably doesn't affect anything. How do I... Oh, I'm on computer. So in the original Tactics or Ogre Battle, there was like a couple names that you could input, and they would give you like certain bonus scenarios that you could do. And the one that just kind of always stuck in my mind was Fire Seal. So I just, for the memories, I'm going to go with that. I don't think it'll affect anything at all, but Last Order. You were thinking the old lore? This is the old lore. We're not fearing it today, boys.
What do you think?
Yes, a fine name. You'll go far, I'm certain. I have much for you to do. Your first task takes you to the town of Chrysaro, to the southwest. The captain of my knights, Sir Leonard, has gone there in pursuit of the former overseer of this castle, a necromancer named Tynemouth. Truth be told, he's having a harder time of it than was expected. You'll be going to Chrysaro to aid him. Understood? Now before you leave, you'll want to fill your ranks with soldiers from Almorica and purchase such gear as you'll require. I expect you have little in way of coin, so I'm giving you 30,000 goth from the treasury and a few of my own knights to serve under you.
You can count on us, Your Grace. We won't let you down.
Then may victory and glory await you, young heroes of Wallister.
Hey, achievement unlocked.
You've led us to gainful employ after all. My thanks.
No, it is I who should thank you.
So, you're off to aid one of the Duke's men. I regret we cannot join you. Above all else, stay alive. Win or lose, while there's life, there's hope.
I'll try to remember that.
Best not forget, the dead get no second chances.
If death were our aim, there are swifter ways to go about it than soldiery. We fight to live.
True enough. Still, do not needlessly seek out danger. Enough will find you as it is.
Of course.
You are the heroes of Goliath, are you not? I must thank you for saving His Grace the Duke. Indeed, accept my thanks on behalf of us all.
And you are?
Ravnus Luxarian, a knight in service of the Duke. I would ride to Leonar's aid myself, but his grace has other need of me. I fear the task falls to you.
No need of fear, friend. We took back this castle, didn't we?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose.
And what manner would that be?
She and her fellow knights drew off the garrison defending the castle. Else, we would not have succeeded.
If it were not for the sacrifice of others, we would be no heroes of Goliath now.
Make no mistake, I have high hopes for you. We must unite the people behind us if we are to put an end to this endless war. Word of your heroics emboldens them.
Then you hold us up as heroes to serve some stratagem, is that it?
If you do not like it, give truth to the lie. Write your own fate on the battlefield.
May fate smile on us both, Dame Ravnus.
His Grace provided you with war funds, yes? Remember, they do no good sitting in your coffers. Arms, spells, provisions. Even a single magic ring can mean the difference between victory and defeat.
She thinks highly of herself. I pray we are not near when she falls from such height.
Stuart wants to join the party. That's a funny name. Wonder if I can change his name. Though not openly discontent, this unit will not speak against those who are, so he's pretty neutral. Dorothy wants to join the party. Same thing. She's an archer, definitely want those. Eadbert. So he has... what spell? Deadshot. Okay, he's air like me. Merowyn. I'm assuming they're all going to be like that. Okay. Dunstan. Rune fencers already. Okay, that's cool. So they get to use like spears and stuff, and are kind of like the Valkyries or Dragoons of this franchise. And they also get to use spells, so they're pretty versatile. Towns and castles have been liberated to gain the shop and train commands. At shops you can buy and sell items and arcana, recruit new units, and sell monsters at auction. It's a good idea to stock up on consumables to use in battle, such as items that restore HP. Train allows your units to take part in a training battle. You can retreat from a training battle at any time, either in the battle or while forming your party. Units incapacitated and removed from a training battle are not removed from your party. Training battles are a good way to level up your units before taking them into a real battle. Units earn experience points in training battles, but items do not drop. Okay, that's interesting. New commands have been added to the party screen. Okay, so we can get rid of people, change classes, finishing moves. Okay, so it tells me about the new title. So let's go ahead and save it, actually, because I haven't even done that yet. Check out the Warren report, see if there's anything. New titles command is now available. Oh, the titles command. Rescue Duke Ronway from imprisonment in Almorica Castle. Almorica Castle falls. Alright, so nothing like super obscure quite yet. So we can go to the shop and train. So in the previous versions of the games, they had battles be a little bit randomized as you walked around the map, so it was a little bit of a pain if you wanted to like train in a certain spot to like try to recruit monsters and stuff. I don't know how that's going to work in this one. I'm assuming there could be auctions. Okay. No of the things yet. I'll hire another... No, I don't need another cleric. Maybe another enchantress could be good. Or a Valkyrie. Maybe one of each of these. Chaotic characters abhor rules and prize freedom above all else. Neutral characters impartially weigh all evidence before making a decision. And lawful characters gladly abide by the rules that uphold order. There's like some weird way where this kind of all functions, but generally it's not too big a deal. But there is like some stuff that does tie into it that I just don't remember like all of the details of. And so we can also choose the elements, and elements typically matter more on these kinds of characters because they will get like some spell affinities. So I do like to give like a little bit of a spread for that, and these are like the only ones that I really like pay too much attention to with the elements. So let me look at the rest of my characters before I do that. And the kinds of equipments we can get. So this is just all pretty basic stuff. Okay, so we can get more rings, which is really nice. So I don't know if they like rebalanced some of the magic, because like a lot of them weren't that impactful, despite what I said about like mages being like some of the more powerful ones. That's kind of like more of a later game thing when you have more access to stuff like that. Remove sleep and charm. I don't really need that. Still lights. Exorcism will be extremely valuable. I will buy another that one. Spirit Surge. Really good. For casters. I don't think I have anything that could take advantage of this. So just the wizards. Sundries. Okay. So I'm just trying to check real quick if... Okay, so these will be the different marks to change classes. Oops. Oh, so there's like a consumable for this? I don't remember if there's actually in the main one. Okay, so I was mostly checking to see if there's like craftable items, because I was going to be a little bit disappointed. But actually, now that I think about it, there might be. I don't know. Not that I'm against crafting in general, but the last implementation of it wasn't the best, I think. I'll buy one of each, just to be, like, have a little bit of leeway. Although if shops are plentiful, it's probably not going to be that big a deal. Spellcraft. I don't remember what that does. Can I check that? Can't really. That's a little bit unfortunate. I should be able to pick those up. 1 of 4. Okay, so 1 is equipped and 4 are in stock, so I have 5 total. Makes sense. So he's air, lightning, earth. So maybe a water one would be good.
Good day. You sure? Done.
This will probably be good for now. Because we're gonna get other characters as well. The only thing that I would also need to buy are like spells and some miscellaneous equipment. Okay. Sorry, this is a little bit underwhelming stuff to kind of deal with. Definitely should buy more. Okay. Got a good idea of what I need. So we got Aqua Blast. I'm not going to worry about Instill Water. And then I'll also get the Dark Spell. Or Dark Spells. Don't think... I should have checked this way. No, yeah, the witches can still use it. So these dudes are going to be the front line, so I assume they might need the most ability to heal, and they're going to be more agile than the other characters, so that's why I'm giving them, like, the revive things. Not super used to these controls yet. Oh, Methoda said, you don't think you ever told us why our mother warned us about this game? Is it because of the war crimes you're planning with those spells? Something like that, yeah. But the real thing is, a lot of people didn't get the opportunity to experience this game, so they only ever heard rumors about it, and this is kind of like one of the first times where it's going to reach like the widest possible audience that it can. It's a little bit unfortunate that it came out like right on the heels of God of War, so it's definitely going to fly under the radar, which I'm a little bit sad about. But thank you for that question. Okay, so she can do Word of Pain. I'll have her do Charm instead. Where's my other guy? I'll give him Poison Cloud. It just seems like a better option. Can they equip it? Oh, they can do Spirit Surge. I forgot about that. And they can do Heal? That's a lot better. Oh, Rune Fencer. Man, it's been such a long time since I've really played. They can't cast Spirit Surge. Okay. I think that should be pretty good. So I don't know if there's like passive skills that get passed on based on previous classes. Kind of interested to see how that all got implemented. So I'll go ahead and save it now after going through all of that trouble. And go to Tynemouth Hill. Methoda says, there's something so cathartic about flicking through menus like this and optimizing your loadout. Nice of you to use Charm instead of Word of Pain. Thank you. I do worry that it's like a little bit boring. I don't know if this is like one of the best games to stream, just because it's a little bit slower when you're like out of the story beats and all that. Oh, jeez. Come on, movie. But it's definitely got a certain appeal that I do want to try to show off, even if it can be a bit slow at times. Alright. I think my dog needs to go out, so I'll go ahead and take a quick break, and this will be a good time for it anyway, so I will be right back starting now. Or not. What is my command for that? But he says, like, where'd she go? She really just killed herself. Bruh. Oh, shnikes, the third one scared the crap out of me. I got by the HUD. Alright, so now we're out of here. Now we just have to deal with all the bone wheels, which have killed me a lot. So out of the frying pan into the fire, essentially. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. The goal was in sight. She's pretty OP. Yeah. Especially since melee is really garbage against the Moonlight Butterfly, and she's a caster, she'll probably do a lot of work. Oh, crap. Well, we did it, boys. The soul of the Moonlight Butterfly and some humanity. I didn't even look at Beatrice, did I? We'll see her again for like the Four Kings, I suppose. So GG, Moonlight Butterfly. I forgot, like, I'm not ridiculously low leveled. That still died way faster than I expected, especially with the co-op thing going on. Alright, let me get this prize, the Watchtower Basement Key, and the Divine Ember, and Homeward Bone. So we can go back to... oh, damn it. Damn Moonlight Butterfly. I really wish I could say I planned that just for the content, but no, I'm a goober. There's no defending myself. Rip my humanity. Now I have to go back and pick up my souls. And then this is the kind of noob trap setup killer. If we try to come this way... The boulder comes crashing through. And then you just fight a bunch of Cabra demons, a bunch of Taurus demons, and so having another recycled... Why is that back now? Well, you got by the oldest one in the book. Venom says, when you started this playthrough, you mentioned how obvious the ball rolling trap was, and I thought he's going to fall for it on a second trip through the asylum. I figured he probably didn't have a lot of hits with this Byhander. Wait, what? That's actually really, really funny. Just straight up assassinated right there. Okay. Let's go get our damn souls back. So now we should have a little time to read chat. Nix what I said about the souls, guys. So if I remember correctly, you actually just need to walk off here. You don't run. Because that screwed me up for a while. Well, sometimes I just get stubborn. Which I really shouldn't do on stream. I tell myself not to do it on stream, and then I end up doing it anyway. Alright. Or then I say, let's play smarter, and then I continue to do the exact stupid thing that got me in the situation in the first place. There's our stairs over there. Damn it! I think I should survive the fall. Unless we get hit by, like, the skull again. I was wrong. Oh, that jerk. So much for preserving my humanity. Pinwheel's like the Volnir of Dark Souls 1. His appearance and lore seem super cool, but kind of a joke fight. So does he just like clone himself infinitely or something? No. Oh shit, he killed him. Okay. I didn't even see him hit him. The Tomb of the Giants is a pretty scary area, especially on a first playthrough. I'll just go ahead and say it so we get cursed. I do kind of remember the layout of the area, but a lot of the specifics are hard to remember. Byhander, and I think as we start to go down now we get shot at, if we're not being shot at right now. Okay. I thought there was a way to fall there. Shows how well I actually remember that layout. Actually. Alright, and we're back. Sorry for the delay. Oh, actually need to click into the menu of the game. So, just like Final Fantasy Tactics, you can like kind of lay out your parties. I like to put the slower characters up front because it's harder for them to move around the battlefield consistently. Oh, that's it. So I should have hired somebody else. Wait, I've deployed 7 and I have 6 slots. So I need to have somebody hang back. I think we'll probably just have... Maybe not Stuart. It's kind of hard to choose. Probably Eadbert. Although he's level 3 and Adelaide's level 1. We'll be fine. This will be as good as any. So our first like real battle.
Hollister rebels? Here? Then Almorica has fallen for true. Reinforcements for their kinsmen we've pinned down in Chrysaro. Make peace with the light, Wallister swine! Today you die!
You looked a lonely lot. Thought I might join you. I am Canopus. Step forward and meet your fate, dogs.
I don't want them to move too much, just because I know the enemies are going to start zooming in as well.
This is a Wallister fight. We need no help from you.
Stubborn as ever, eh? How did one so young grow so thick of skull?
Thick? I'll give you thick.
Ow! Not the wings!
Vice, control yourself.
You can now use the Chariot Tarot during battle. The game keeps track of the actions you take each turn. The Chariot Tarot allows you to return to any of these previous turns and replay the battle from that point. This alternate version of events is stored separately from the original, so you're free to choose the more favorable course. The number of turns tracked and times they can be replayed varies depending on the battle, so be sure to keep this in mind. So this is a kind of vestige of the PSP remake, and it's pretty useful. I actually didn't make too much use of it just because I was so used to playing without it, but it's invaluable if you're trying to keep like certain NPCs alive and doing those battles. Our first little treasure there, it's a bundle of herbs. Damn it, maybe there is crafting. No. Alright, so I can cast Sleep. That's a single target. I think I'll just have her chill for a little bit longer. And kind of want to test the range of this. Okay, so we have like the actual indicated range, but it shows the trajectory. Sorry about that. Okay. What am I trying to do? Kupak, thank you. Greetings from Poland. This game looks cool. Sweet. I do recommend it. It's a really good game. And thank you for joining the stream. How are you all doing tonight? The nice thing about the spear is you can attack from a range and not get counterattacked. So I'll have Denim move in front to just kind of block the path off to the witch a little bit.
Fight for Wallister honor. Where does it lead?
What's the matter? Lose your nerve? Or has the nagging of your pacifist sister unmanned you? Always hiding behind her skirts.
Thick of skull and a bully besides.
That's enough squawking out of you, Birdman.
Better a bird than a brute.
Ugh. You're not men. You're children.
So yeah, a lot of personality in the interactions with the characters. I guess I should have moved that one. Okay. We'll just have him move a tiny bit. Oh, I forgot. Pincers are new. That wasn't quite a thing.
Tell you a thing or two about battle, Dylan. Clear the wax from your ears and listen. The key is to divide and conquer. Whether you face a fearsome giant or a timid dormouse, that's the way it's done. Focus your attacks on one enemy at a time, and you'll emerge the victor.
I wonder if he's about to get hit. Okay, so there's no pincer from the Valkyrie, or the Rune Fencer, whatever they're called. So let's go ahead and use Aqua Blast. Okay, so it does show the trajectory for the witch's spells, and I will miss trying to go for the Valkyrie. I would not be able to kill it either way. What's percentage there? 7, 0, 4. It's probably because I'm lower level. That's probably a part of it. So let's just go ahead and cast (51 to 54). Aqua Blast. Okay. Oh, the range on this is really good, actually. Bonus objective? I wonder if there's a menu for that. Oh, there's like a speed up button.
Cannot withstand the withering attacks of the front lines. Keep us in the back, where we can support our warriors from afar. Be mindful of the enemy's position, and bring us no closer than need be. Use a bird's eye view if you're unsure of the distance.
So the way that I tend to view like some of the archers and mages is that they're kind of like turrets. Once they're placed, you don't want to like keep moving them around, because that'll give them more opportunities to attack, because their base speed is low. So if you keep moving, it takes them longer to recover. So this will still keep the path to my witch blocked off, so let's go for it. Wait, I can't attack that? Oh, Okay. Making use of the swiping feature type thing. Forced perspective. Alright. Let's go this way. Oh, I didn't equip, like, any magical skills to, like, pump this guy up. So even without a staff, they can actually heal quite a lot. Rune Fencers might be a lot stronger than I remembered, or they might have just balanced them differently. Gubak loves the pixel art style RPG way back in the years, like 2000X. You played Chrono Trigger on emulator and you're amazed by the graphics. Yeah, so I really do think that the pixel style of art really stands the test of time super well. That it's a little bit lost on some of like the more modern games for like, well, like not modern anymore, but like when, you know, the PlayStation 2 was all about graphics, PlayStation 1 kind of was, but I mean, it was just like a more experimental period for game design.
Piece of advice, then. If you come across a blue card on the field, be sure to pick it up. These can provide a boon to aid you for the rest of the battle. Stronger attacks, more critical strikes, and the like. But a single unit can only benefit from 4 of these boons at once, so mind who you give them to. Oh, and keep away from the red cards. These will wipe out any boons you've already picked up. You might want to try knocking your enemies into those. Green cards raise a unit's core attributes, and the best part is they keep the bonus even after the battle ends. Take a close look at each card before someone picks it up to gauge its effect. There are many kinds, and it doesn't pay to go wasting them on the wrong soldier.
Okay. Oh wait, that just randomly spawns? Interesting. I wonder if that's just a thing now, rather than dropping from enemies randomly? Because you don't have to worry about waiting for enemy dropping equipment versus stats, I guess? That'll be interesting to kind of see how this works. 5%. So water is not good against electric. Earth should be? Okay, maybe not. Just keep going with these guys. So yeah, like going back to the whole like graphical thing, the PS2 era focused more on like graphical fidelity, like with Final Fantasy X and going into those kinds of games. But even back in those days, I do think like the more highly stylized games withstood time better, or the test of time better. So games like Dark Cloud or even like Grandia, I think were good, even though those aren't like sprite-based, they just relied more on art. So auto skill card? So I don't have any auto skills on this character yet. Physical attack. Okay, that's interesting. And so Chrono Trigger is an amazing game, has a phenomenal soundtrack, and definitely holds up even today. Damn, these things pop up like candy. Okay, just a little bit out of range because they're blocking my path to get the physical card. Could get the auto skill. I wonder if it'll have any effect, but since I'm ranged anyway, let's just go ahead and try it out. My damage feels so low. So I think height should also boost the damage that I deal, but I'm not sure. Skill level up, okay. Oh, that might be why my damage is low. Because I just like haven't leveled up the characters, which would make sense. So this should give me a pincer attack. Would it say that, or... We'll see. I guess not. Okay. I should have figured he wouldn't retreat. Okay, I do kind of like where they input like the actual locations of the skills and attacks. It is a little bit more intuitive than I thought at first, because I'm still used to the older systems. So you don't have to like navigate different menus for spells. They're just kind of all localized. I got the high ground from the Star Wars meme, yeah. So Kubak, have you played any other like the old style games? How many other RPGs, if any? If you played Chrono Trigger. If you haven't played Chrono Cross, it came out... Oh yeah, it just got remastered. I would highly recommend Chrono Cross. It's a very different vibe. The biggest issue with it is that it has like Chrono in the title, so people think it's going to be like super faithful to Chrono Trigger, but it's a really good game in a very different way. A little bit dated now, but I really enjoyed it. Oh, that's an NP up, and she just walked past it. Terranigma, okay. I played a bit of that game. I kind of screwed up towards the end, but that was a really, really good game as well. I need to check if I picked up those linen slots. Many of the Final Fantasies, Game Boy Advance ones. I only played a very small amount of the Game Boy like Advance games. I know... Damn, what's it called? The one Sun game was always raved about, and I just never got around to playing it. Critical auto skill. Golden Sun. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, always heard really good things about it. Never got around to it. And one of the other ones that I really wanted to play on Game Boy Advance was Mother 3. But unfortunately, it's like trying to emulate that game and play GBA games now. It's definitely feasible, but like the chip tunes, like the actual audio quality of the Game Boy Advance is so bad when you're just like listening to it directly in like headphones and stuff. So, I mean, I should give it more of a try, but it was a little bit off-putting for me now at this point in my life. You played Chrono Cross, but it didn't click with you? Okay. Yeah. It is that way for some people. Like, for some people it clicks and others it doesn't, and you don't have to like feel bad about that or anything. But I really liked the story and the combat system. But again, I also played Chrono Cross like way back in the day when the combat was a little bit more novel. And now it's not as big a deal, I guess. Not that it was like super revolutionary at the time. It was just, it had a really good flow with it between the light, heavy, and medium attacks. And all that. I guess I should probably just keep spamming heal onto somebody. Oh, Vice. Duh. You didn't like the graphics of Cross? Yeah, that's understandable. Like, now it definitely does not stand up as well compared to Chrono Trigger. And even then, there are like a lot of people who didn't get into Chrono Cross when it first came out, so it's a little bit unfortunate that like the remastered wasn't like a remake. There's that one mobile game that had like a Chrono Cross crossover event. I guess that's a pun intended, I don't really know. And they kind of remade the intro for Chrono Cross in it, and it looks so good. I was so excited for the possibility of an actual Chrono Cross remake with a little bit more robust features, but it just never came to fruition, sadly. You loved Chrono as a character and all of them were super cool? Yeah. And Chrono Cross is a very different vibe. I didn't realize they do full damage device through the dude. I guess that makes sense. 0%. So yeah, Aqua Blast does like 25% more damage, and the entire reason for that is just because of the shared affinity. Yeah, and if I remember correctly, you said you played Terranigma, but I'm pretty sure that actually didn't get released in North America, which is a shame, because it's so good. Have you ever played Illusion of Gaia, or I think it was called Illusion of Time in the PAL region? Because that's like the predecessor to Terranigma. Joe S., welcome to the stream. This is on Steam. They remade Tactics Ogre. Maybe you're familiar with it already, but I am running on Steam. I think it's pretty much on everything right now. Switch, the PlayStation consoles, and the Microsoft ones as well. You'll give it a try someday? Yeah, Illusion of Gaia it's really good. It's like Terranigma, but it's a little bit more focused. And it's very charming. It's kind of like A Link to the Past. Obviously, you've played Terranigma, so you kind of know what that's about. But very, very similar to the old-style Zelda games. I highly recommend it. Oh yeah, I forgot to check out what bonus objectives are. Mage's Mark, Blessing Stone. Okay. Okay, so there's just two of them. Use magic to heal. Okay, so very, very basic stuff that I didn't look up. And maybe there's more. You tried a lot of RPGs from the Super Nintendo era all on emulator. Understandable. It's going to be really tough to fill the shoes of Chrono Trigger for sure. I'm trying to think of other super big ones. Obviously the Final Fantasies, which you'd mentioned. Lufia is good as well. Canopus wants to join the party. Absolutely. This dude is the GOAT, even though he's a bird. Actually, this game was also originally for the Super Nintendo. It did get, like, fan translated, like, ironically, like, 1 month before the announcement of the PSP remake with, like, a full new translation. So it's just kind of funny, like, how that all ended up working out. Joe says, amazing, 100% gonna get. Tactics Advanced got you into D&D, which got you a lot of social confidence as a kid. Okay. So yeah, if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, this is like the grandfather of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. So like the team that worked on this essentially worked on Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's kind of like the distilled essence of a tactics game in my opinion. Okay, the music screen. Okay, here we go. So, man, is there a way to like make that scroll go by faster? Maybe not. Oh, okay, sweet. This is a piece that symbolizes the Ogre series. We layered instruments to add texture while still remaining faithful to the original orchestration. Are these just the PSP comments, or are these like actually new ones? I'm not sure. All right, I don't want to like take too much time on the stream, just like fawning over the music. I'll have to do that in my own time. Kubak says Final Fantasy XII Revenant Wings is a cool NDS RPG with really cool mechanics. I don't remember, is that just new DS? Because I remember there's a 3DS, but I don't exactly remember NDS. You a huge Final Fantasy X fan since your first console was PlayStation 2. Understandable. Final Fantasy X's a really good game that's, like, in retrospect, I've come to appreciate it more than, like, kind of when it first came out. Because I was a little bit salty about it, just because of, I'll say, like, certain story beats, and people will probably be able to figure out what I mean by that if they're familiar with the game. NDS is the base DS? Okay. Thank you, Mortis. Fighting with the stylus is super cool. Yeah, I never played Revenant Wings. So, no extra stuff. Okay, so we're all caught up. Tynemouth Hill. Oh, I didn't even check these things. Okay. So the battles, they don't get replays, unfortunately, but that's all cool. I think you could just go back with the actual Wheel of Fortune, tear it later on. Arrow. Oh yeah, Chrono Trigger also came out on the DS. As well as like Final Fantasy VI. Oh, so this is where the bonus objectives are listed. I'm just admiring the music right there. Very nostalgic. What are you doing, puppy? He's restless. Joe, thank you very much for the $5. Gotta take care of the kid. Here's a quick tip for making my night. Are there any other games I recommend like this? As far as tactics games, trying to think. Obviously, like a lot of the older Fire Emblems are very in this genre. Oh, of course, Shining Force 2. It came out on the Sega Genesis. It is like the shining beacon of like the tactics games for that console. And also there's Shining Force 1, which came out before Shining Force 2. So they do kind of build on each other, but Shining Force 2 is an absolute gem that I can't recommend enough. Disgaea is another good one, Kubak. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a really big fan of the Disgaea series. I like Platinum 5 and like number 1. I've kind of like held off on playing more of the Disgaeas because I'm waiting for them to release Disgaea 3 on more accessible consoles. So that way, like, I don't go from like 5 to 4 to 3. I think it's just easier for me to go from 5 to 3 because there's less features, then to 4, and then to 6. So, yeah, Shining Force 2, Chadwick. Welcome in. Blew your mind as a Super Nintendo kid when you saw that at your Genesis friend's house. Yeah, it's one of the very few, like, actual RPGs for that entire console. But, man, it was so good. One of my favorite games of that era. Do I want to go back and... Oh, yeah, I do want to... Oh, I can't retreat yet? I goofed. So let me look at my unit details. Okay, so I can still equip stuff here. That'll do. Okay, so as I level up, they probably get skills passively. So the Knights and Warren were probably a higher level to begin with, is what I'm assuming. Oh yeah, these dudes can equip bows. I mean, everybody pretty much can. Not the best on a rune fencer. Actually, they might be really good caster options now. Huh. They probably just don't get, like, oh, the special skills. That'll be the biggest deal breaker. Those in the winged units are... The winged units are definitely, like, the best archers, in my opinion. Street Fighter? No. SF2 is Shining Force 2 in this context, but definitely also Street Fighter 2. Mortis recommends Dark Deity because it's because of its built-in randomizer, save file customizations, which allows a ton of run possibilities. I'll probably need to look into that. I know Triangle Strategy also came out this year, and I want to look into that, and I just haven't because I suck. Oh, so pincer attack is a skill. Is this class specific? Okay, so knights and berserkers can also use it. You're a doofus. This was on which system? So the original version of this game came out on Super Famicom in Japan, but that version of the game wasn't brought to the West for whatever reason. It might have come out pretty late in the life cycle. Also, like, text size differences would have been insane to actually translate and, like, format on the regular Super Nintendo, because this game is so text intensive, like, when you actually get into it. And so after that, this was released in the West on the PlayStation 1 remake of the Super Famicom game. And then there were very limited numbers of this game that came out for the PS1, so it was just kind of left on the obscure mode up until it got remade in a completely different fashion for the PSP. So there's some mechanical differences between the PS1 version of this game, the PSP version of this game, and this version. So they've been kind of updating the combat system each go-around. So I'm just really pleased with this one so far, because it does seem like pretty true to the essence of the original, and it's updating things. Obviously, this is just like my first impression, but yeah. It's pretty much on every major console out right now, so it should be on Steam, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, as far as I know. And I don't know if it's mobile, but I wouldn't be surprised with the recent string of, like, old games being remade. I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised either. Yeah, and this was originally like a Nintendo series. So even there's like a Ogre Battle 64 as well. Cause melee weapons such as swords and axes to score automatic criticals with 100% accuracy. Oh, so I don't have to wait for the scrolls. That makes sense. They are not subject to counterattacks? Holy crap. Okay, Mighty Impact was always good. Do I have a dagger on right now? I think I do. No, I have a one-handed sword. And that's just free. Can I equip this on him? Okay. That's a lot better. Oh yeah, she's like the exception to the rule for like the clerics, because she has a technically a different class. So rather than a cleric, she's a priest. A venerated cleric well versed in matters of the spirit, noted for their ability to use offensive divine magic. If Ogre Battle gets put on Nintendo Online, you'll be upset. The N64 emulator is so bad. I don't think they would do that one first. I wouldn't be surprised if they put the original Super Nintendo Ogre Battle on there, though. That would actually be a pretty dope tie-in and probably encourage some sales. It's wonderful reiterating on a classic in a good way. Nice to see. Miss you with the new 16-bit Final Fantasy stuff. They could have done a better job with that, I would agree. But there have been worse things out there that have been released. Oh, I already put that on. Okay. They can put concentration on too? Okay, that's interesting. So, looks like I'd probably need to go to the Warren report to actually remember charms. What? Oh, it changes and grants experience. That's nice. So if I have a weaker character, like let's say I just got like Canopus and for whatever reason he was a lower level, or I could even do it to Vice or Kachua. Or they're level 4, so I don't need to, because that's like the party level now. So I could put it on the Enchantress, which I was missing. I think it'll be good. Actually, no, I do want to use it. Whatever. We'll just deal. We'll figure that out later. The Nintendo Online just makes Mortis mad. Scout. Oh yeah, this is a new feature. So we get to look at... Oh, it even puts our lineup as this. That's really convenient. Oops. What did you... Oh, I must have like pressed the trigger button. It's just so weird looking, the new Final Fantasy versions. You're glad people are playing the foundational games, however they're presented. Yeah, I think the GBA remake of Final Fantasy Tactics, or sorry, Final Fantasy VI is really good. It's almost like the definitive version, except with just like that GBA chipset. Oh man, this battlefield like takes me back. So this is like, even though the last one was the real first battle, I feel like this is like the definitive like Tactics Ogre battle experience, because this will like allow you to get a better feel of what's to come more than anything else. So I think like the first time like I played this game, maybe when I was like 10 or whatever it was, like this battle kind of kicked my ass because I didn't understand like placements and stuff. So one of the reasons I like the scouting thing is because it can give us a better idea of the layout. So rather than like me putting a super fast character on like the right side of the battlefield, maybe I want to put him on the left to just be able to save this NPC. But I mean, I also know who this dude is, and there's going to be a lot to talk about with him actually. The frame rate killed it. Oh, the pilot wings. Use magic to heal, obtain a buff. Okay, so that's where I got the extra experience and the charms from. Light charm. Could I change a character's element to light? That would be crazy. Because I don't think like the regular humanoids were even able to do that in the original. Okay. I should have saved it beforehand. But I should be able to,
Great Father! Ne'er have I seen such an undead throng. That necromancer uses men's souls for sport. Sleep, souls. Embrace the waiting everworld.
What?
Impossible! My exorcism has failed! Perhaps the corpses must be still before the soul can be put to rest.
Oh yeah, duh. I was wondering. Okay.
I've forgotten much in the quarter century that's passed since I last faced the undead. But listen to me, making excuses. Wait for me, Leonard. All I need do is hold out till reinforcements arrive. There, our liberators! Great Father, smile upon us this day.
Perhaps he merely bares his teeth at you, old man. The sleep has already taken your friends. And no common sleep. They descend the sepulchral stairs toward death. When they wake, it will be as unliving horrors. We only need hold until Master Nybeth's return. Give them not an inch, and show them no quarter.
So Chadwick, if you're still here, thanks for joining the stream. It's nice seeing you, and you have a good night. And Mortis says, you'd think it's weird seeing a remake that has a bunch of changes rather than trying to be more faithful like the Demon Souls one. I am all for it to an extent. Like, this feels really faithful to like the vision of the original, but I understand why there'd definitely be reservations for some people to make some of those changes. Because they can often go awry. Necroapprentice is a fun, silly word. So, yeah, that's a good one. So there was a bunch of, like, little differences between this version of the game, I think. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't remember the Abuna trying to exercise the skeleton when we first meet him in the original. I think it was just kind of figured out by chance. Maybe it was still there, but it does seem like a little bit more hands-on with the tutorial, which I think is a good thing for the game overall. Oh, is that automatic? Okay, that makes sense. What do I think of all these changes? Is there anything I think that's gotten worse? It's kind of hard to say because this is just like the first impression, and I don't know exactly how I feel about like the new class system. So far, I think I'm liking it more than the PSP version, which I felt to be like a little bit overly grindy and restrictive. I do like the changes to the training system, but I am a little bit curious as to like how the balance goes of like grinding if you can't just like pick up items or anything like that. Having the automatic moves is really interesting, and I need to see how it actually goes into effect a bit more, because you used to have to devote your turns to them, so I don't know how that's going to like influence the balance of the final game. But so far, I'm absolutely loving the music. There hasn't been, I think, anything that's disappointed me so far. Oh yeah, there is like one minor thing in that like there's some like remnants of what, maybe this is just like my settings on the computer and I might like need to remove VSync, but I've noticed there's like little tearing artifacts like when you're going up and down. So like in the middle of the screen right now, there's like the weird ass line going on, I've noticed. That's like the only flaw that I've noticed so far, and that might just be my settings. I might need to like play around with that off stream. You can't spell on mobile. The visuals are so nice. And yeah, these are like very faithful to the original. Like the backgrounds look a lot nicer. The only oddity might be the actual like character sprites. I think that's my biggest issue, but even they still like serve the environment super well. They do pop off against the background well, so it might be like more of a stylistic choice. I just think they look a little bit like super anti-aliased, but not well. I don't know how to articulate my thought better than that. Oh, the rain effects? Yeah, the rain effects look good. Like, they look really good compared to everything else almost. A lot better than the actual battlefield. Oh yeah, I think I remember why this battle was so hard for me, like, as a kid. It's because I didn't understand, like, the exorcism aspect of the fights. And if you don't know about that ahead of time, it makes it a lot harder because the undead enemies will resurrect themselves after like 3 turns of being incapacitated. So if you just try to kill them like a normal enemy, you're gonna have a bad time. Yeah, the sprites look like they're at a lower resolution. It's weird. They look like dithered. Like the other ones in the background look really sharp and like crisp, but these ones look grainy almost. I don't think I'll be able to hit anything with the witch right now. I do like how they changed the controls for switching views. Alright, so the building is in the way for that. I don't think I'll be able to hit anything then. The character sprites remind you of the HD 2D style. I think like the director said like they didn't even consider it. Like they just it wasn't for them. But I don't know the exact details, so I might be mistaken. Alright, so maybe I'm definitely not sure about the cards just because there's so damn many of them. So does that use MP? That would actually be a good balance for the like non-caster characters because they would just never use their MP. Does the game ever pull any tricks with that top-down view? Having spaces you actually can't see from the isometric view where enemies are hiding out could be fun. I don't know about that because there are the characters that will like when it's their turn the cursor hovers over them. I don't know if they incorporated anything with like gargoyles way late in the game. Oh damn it, I didn't mean to do that. I don't think there's like anything super tricky about it, but there are like a little bits of like buried treasure in certain locations, which is a little bit unfair if you don't know about them, but they're also kind of like a nice Easter egg to go through and figure them out. Maybe you could access them super easily with the training mode now. I don't know. Especially since you can like retreat whenever. So that's nice. You get more magic that way. Actually, let's see. So I thought. So in this game, like many other traditional style RPGs, holy magic and like healing will damage the undead directly, as well as heal allies, obviously. I kind of want to keep him alive, but I don't think he's in danger of dying quite yet. I'll just make her chill so she gets her turn back faster. So the witch has a good chance of charming like the undead enemies, which is always very nice, especially now that she's leveled up. Now I regret not leveling her up. If she draws aggro instead of a Donalto, that'll be fine. Yes, okay. That'll be a big help. Okay, sweet. And then she acted. I thought she was gonna heal my dude. I wasn't paying attention. Hey, Saint Trina, welcome in. Is this game dank enough to get? You love Advance Wars, but you feel like you'll be really snobby about this genre? I don't really know about that transition, but this is one of my like favorite games, just period. It's really good. It's got a really good story, tons of replayability, a lot of cool characters, and a decent amount of customizability in terms of like how you want to organize your party. This will work out, because then he'll block off the path for like the witch. I should change him into a knight. That'll probably be good. You'll probably get it. Oh, so that's too close. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll definitely start focusing the ghosts. Maybe this one, since I think I could charm that one. Okay. Oh my god. That's always satisfying. Big damage. As the lazy peon would say. Fire Emblem has been disappointing as of late. If you enjoyed the earlier Fire Emblem games, this one is like truer to those like the older style games. Like there's a lot of crossover elements between them, I think. Damn it. I should have used the Hisatswaza. Maybe I didn't have the MP at the time. I should have paid attention. What am I doing? Okay, that'll be good. Skill trigger. Okay. Mortis is one of the weird people who likes the Fire Emblem Fates, because even though the story's laughably bad, the gameplay is fun. I think that's a valid, opinion to have. Like, I really like Chrono Trigger's combat system. The story is a little bit nebulous, but I also enjoyed that. But I do understand, like, that's the weaker portion of the game. But I do think it has value regardless. Hey, no. Thank you. So, okay, having the auto meditate is really nice, because otherwise it was extremely difficult to consistently heal as well as exercise the undead. So that seems a lot more forgiving. The Tear Ring Saga games. I've never even heard of them, or is that Terror Ring? They were made by the creator of Fire Emblem, and you can tell? Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Still not quite enough to get up there. I don't think she can jump high enough. Let me look. Wasn't something about them describe their jump heights? Okay, 1 and 2. Can move up or down. Okay, so yeah, they're really limited. I do wish they would have like updated a little bit of that, because it felt a little bit more restrictive than I would have ultimately enjoyed. But not going to be too upset about that. This might be a little bit risky. Sweet. The witch has come in clutch. Well, Except for that maneuver. Nah, it's still good. Okay, it's even better than I thought. I'm just pretty happy about the witch thing, because sometimes it was a little bit difficult to actually make them work. Maybe with like the updated AI and like status effects, they'll be more effective than the originals. Was on the PlayStation and the other was on the PS2. You think that was all of them? Tearing Saga was made by Kaga, but he got sued by Nintendo because the game's original title was Emblem Saga, and Kaga during marketing implied heavily that they were canon to Fire Emblem. Interesting. That's some funny stuff. Oh, this is just a buff. Okay. So I can't see how much damage my buff shot will do initially. But the other good thing about that is I know you can store it. Oh, and it knocks her back? I didn't consider that. He wanted to finish the story, but Nintendo had the rights. He tried to sneak it in, but of course it wasn't going to work. You feel sympathy given how you feel about a story you create. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wonder if do fans still take it as like the canonical story conclusion, or do they just kind of cope? That's gonna hit my other brother. Where am I going? I don't think I'll be able to hit. No. Okay. So I don't think magic wakes up enemies. Oh yeah, he can use Spirit Surge. Really? That's that less effective. Okay. Interesting. There's still Nalto. Oh, he's over back there. Oh well. You haven't played Kaga's game, so you can't give an opinion? Damn it, it woke it up. Okay, I done goofed. After making a smart play. Oh yeah, there's the tarot card system. So I could go back and undo it, which is really forgiving, but sometimes it's more fun to just live with the decisions you made. I'll save that for my soldier guy. No, I definitely want to take out the archers first. Wait, is one female and one's male? Is that why they're different colors? Yeah, okay. That's part of why like Canopus is extremely good as a unit. He can get the high ground extremely quickly and efficiently and then just rain arrows across the map. Like he's kind of supposed to be like a melee oriented character just to kind of balance out a lot of the winged guys. But since he's a special character, he just has inflated stats and just absolutely melts enemies. So this is the green one, so that should be special, like, stats. Bloomy says, you think the first did well because it played like his games, but he wasn't able to put anything Fire Emblem in them. Okay. Mortis wants to engage to be good because you hated 3 houses. The calendar system ruined the game for you. I wasn't paying attention to who just got hit. Venom? Yeah, I could probably heal him. That's some MP? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Engage looks even more moved. Like you have a time limit? I don't know. I haven't played a lot of the Fire Emblems, to be honest. Oh, okay, sweet. That's nice. I was worried about that one. So I think that one's more resistant because I did some stuff to it already. But actually, let's attack him just to try to level up our staff. Oh, I'm pressing the trigger too hard again. Intelligence. I don't need to be intelligent with this character. Just my units. But yeah, the other ones aren't going to get to it. May as well. You heard it was supposed to be the anniversary game, but it got pushed back due to COVID. Fire Emblem turned into Persona even more, the hell? So yeah, I enjoyed Persona, but I wasn't as into Persona 5 as I wanted to be. Just because, like, the balance, the time balance between, like, doing the dungeons and the daily life stuff, it felt a little off to me. It was just kind of hard to switch modes sometimes, I think. But man, the art direction for Persona 5, it's like the pinnacle, I think. Damn. Lightning bow. Hopefully I picked that up. Hopefully the enemies don't steal it. I forgot to check the other one. My man! The calendar system forced you to progress a chapter by the end of each month, so you're forced to just do other things, during the rest of the month. So it's kind of like Persona at the end of, like, doing a dungeon and just kind of waiting for the next thing to happen, I guess. So that's kind of interesting. I think I'll leave Drake charmed. Oh, damn it. That almost worked out well, up until it didn't. Oh, she's pretty low on HP. I'm gonna need to move her back.
Where is Master Nybeth? What is keeping him?
So these kind of witch ladies have a bigger role in the story. I don't remember if there's like a way to, like, if they have like a certain quest step that starts here or if it like starts later on. So that's like one of the things that I like didn't fully go through in the PSP version, but they do have like a larger role in this version of the game. Not like this one specifically, but like in the PSP remake compared to the PS1 version. This might be able to knock him back. Damn it. I need to remember to actually use my skills. I'm not used to having them yet. The bad guys had missiles? What do you mean, Mortis? I think Donalto might be able to exercise the other one. So I might want to just heal my other units. afterwards, or... Wait, what was I looking at? It there's like 100. I thought she had way less HP than that. So I just misread, I guess. Or did somebody else heal them while I was looking at chat? I could believe that happened. They had modern day missiles, and it was incredibly strange. Okay, I was wondering if that's what you meant, but it just sounded too unbelievable to be true. So I just assumed it was like you meant projectiles, and were like angry about like projectile spam or something. But apparently not. Okay. Damn. Okay. Oh, maybe that might have been why I was able to charm better. Okay, that would make sense. Okay, okay, that actually... That feels pretty good. Damn it. Figures. Okay. Oh, that's a good block. Oh, damn it. I was hoping he was going to get pushed down. Isamin. Okay, that's what I thought would happen. Very nice. I wonder what the ghosts drop. They used to just like drop like herbs and stuff. Like they can't equip like real equipment. And sometimes they could like drop rings in the later levels. I highly doubt you'd get something that useful this early on, but a little bit curious. Oh, snap. Okay. That was better than I expected. Oh, I thought she was going to exercise. Okay. Aqua Blast spells. Okay, makes sense. I might knock him into the card, but I'm not gonna like cry about it. So obviously there's a couple different ways to approach this battle. One of the more effective ways is just to like ignore the smaller units and go for the boss. Maybe there's something to do with like leaving her alive or killing her faster that I just don't remember. And the other one is like the controlled destruction, but if you don't have like a lot of the exorcism magic, that really complicates this level. You see why I love this game? Looks really good from what you've seen. I'm glad you feel that way. And I'm glad to be able to share something like this and others being able to appreciate it as well. Or maybe I need like Denim to hit her directly for like more special dialogue. I wonder if I can hit allies and like level up that way. Sweet. Oh, crap. Oh, that's really cool. It does drain HP. Oh, and it converts it to MP. Okay, I was curious how that worked. Oh, you can see... That's nice. I didn't even think about doing that, but that makes sense. I wonder if there's extra lore. Some things are beyond knowing. I don't know if using the skills just like passively levels them up, so I may as well try. I think concentration is something she has on. Or not. Okay, so that's just all passive. Holy crap, that's a lot. So I'm kind of stalling because I think there's more of an interaction between Denim and Moldova. But maybe not if I hit, like if I do that much damage. I don't want to accidentally kill her. Especially since I put on like the super strike weapon, or skill. Oh well, I think I screwed up whatever I wanted to do.
Master Nybeth, even in death would I have served you.
Hey, you got a sleep spell. And a light charm. I'm very curious to see how that actually works. So, can I look at the stuff now or no? Okay, no. So there's like a fairy, a person, like a beast on some of these icons? Okay. Gonna need to look at them. Oh, maybe those are the recruitment ones.
My thanks to you, Denham. You saved my life. And my apologies to you, Bruno. Such is our reward for striking blind. Already I've lost too many of the Duke's men. I know not how I shall face him.
I am thankful that you, at least, still live. The Great Father favors us.
As he is surely displeased by the trespasses of this Nybeth, the sorcerer of the foulest sort.
Yes, Nybeth. He lies hidden in a rotting fastness beyond the town. Odd. With his men left at Almorica, I'd have thought him bound for Caritini. Or could he be scheming?
I want his head, whatever it may be plotting. I will not return to the Duke empty-handed.
You mean to take the fastness with these numbers? Should we not withdraw and regroup?
Were it only myself and the remnants of my men, I would find retreat more palatable. But do not forget our new allies.
I have not. Yet be mindful of the Galgastani threat. Why, they might attack Almorica at any moment.
As I see it, we would not have the luxury of choice were it not for the heroes of Goliath.
Yes, of course. Advance or retreat. The decision is rightfully Denham's.
Voltaire, Sarah, I know you'll not object.
Then it's settled. We are yours to command.
Donalto, my man. So there's actually some like secret lore with him that I'll explain in just a little bit. Not like actual lore for him, but just kind of some fun trivia stuff. Trusty Sarah. And Voltaire. The homies. Level 5 to level 8. Okay, that's kind of a lot. Alright, so let's check out the Warren reports. I'm going to check the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so that's still normal. Okay. Was it talk then? So partisans thought to be behind the attack of a procession in Heim on the 1st of Godscale have now been apprehended. They are believed to be members of the Liberation Front, a group of Bakran militants loyal to the King Dogalua. We now wait further announcements. So this is the kind of thing that gives a little bit of foreshadowing as to what's going on in the world. And I think if you look at some of these, they will actually spawn certain events later on, but I don't remember. Oh, this one's different. Or maybe I didn't get to the end. It's like being a tattoo artist. You can't graduate from apprentice until you practice on yourself. How does the party level cap work? You don't think you understand it? So I think it's based on how far you get into the story. And I think the goal is to not just have like one or two overpowered characters being able to just one-shot every other unit on the map. So it's more oriented about team play this time around as opposed to just like character-driven battles. So, Consul Abdelord missing. Nybeth Abdelord, a well-known practitioner of the art of necromancy and the Galgastani consul to Almorica, has gone missing. He has not been heard from since the fall of Almorica Castle, and is likely a prisoner of the Wallister Resistance. There is grave fear for his safety. Okay, so this... Man, I really wish I remembered, like, what the quest steps were for him, because I remembered I definitely screwed it up when I played on the PSP, but it's not like that big a deal. Let's see if his stuff. So Nybeth was supposed to be in Almorica Castle, like that's what they first mentioned when we first got there, but we didn't exactly know who he was. I don't think. Oh, the Necromancer of Nybeth. So he was consul to Almorica while it was under Galgastani control. However, it appears he left his duties to another in his service and was rarely seen in public. He did not return to Coritani following the fall of Almorica Castle. So this is like one of the very first story beats that will actually influence the rest of the game. We can go to Kadriga Fortress and fight Nybeth, or we can go back to Almorica Castle and help Duke Ronway. So we can go ahead and... Where's the save option? And this will like show us what all we can go for each route. So let me go back to the Warren report because there's something else I wanted to talk about. So Abuna Del Nalto should show up here. Abuna Prancet? No, that's our daddy. Donalto. So Donalto Presence. A Wallister who fights for the Resistance and serves the Order of Philaha. He is a man of God who in his sorrow has devoted his life to seeking revenge. The Revenger of Elden Ring makes an appearance. He once cared for the orphans at a church in Almorica, but it was razed to the ground by the Galgastani after war broke out, and he lost all that he had held dear. The children who could not flee were murdered in cold blood, and most of those who did escape found themselves sent to the work camps such as those in Balma Musa. So, just a little bit of like personal lore. One of my handles that I've used online in like World of Warcraft and other games is Presence, spelled like this, and Donalto Presence gets his name actually from The Exorcist. I didn't know this. The priest in The Exorcist is named, I forget his first name, but it's Pleasance. And so, because there's no distinction between R and L in Japanese, Pleasance became Presence, and I don't think the localizers knew that in the first iteration of the game, and I think they just kept it in the subsequent ones. Although technically his name got changed because he used to just be called Presence directly, and it was changed to Donalto in the subsequent versions. So my personal lore with Presence in particular is that since he's the first cleric that we get, he's a really strong special character, so he always had really good stats for just kind of somebody you could get fairly early on. And I would always change him into a leech, a character unit that's like a necromancer, but even better. So when I first made my World of Warcraft character, I didn't know what I wanted to name them. So I wanted something dark and ominous. So I thought something like a Dark Presence would be cool, and it just kind of went in with the lore of all of my Tactics Ogre playthroughs, where I would change this dude into a leech at my earliest opportunity. So other than that, his storyline kind of reminds me of Anji from Rurouni Kenshin, if anybody's familiar with that. So I really like him as a character. I did some pretty terrible things to him, though. I didn't realize there's a scroll. So after barely escaping himself, Abuna Del Nalto swore vengeance and became an active member of the Resistance. He is a longtime friend of Sir Leonar, and they do not hesitate to speak their minds to one another. So I feel like turning him to a leech is kind of against everything he stands for, but there is also that component of vengeance which you can kind of lean on. So I just thought it was extra dark to change somebody into a leech who's like him. So that's kind of my personal lore on Presence. And I've talked about that on one of my streams a long time ago. So as I mentioned before, our biographies do update over time, and that is true for our main character. So at first we only had that first paragraph, but now we get some more stuff. He was aided by a band of Zenobians he met in Goliath. He freed the Wallister leader Duke Ronway. Blah blah blah. He's called the hero of Goliath by his people. He soon became a prominent figure in the Resistance. Yeah, turn him into a Revenant, essentially. And so this keeps a tab of all of the enemies that we've killed so far. And I mentioned that before. So those are the super basics of the game. So this is our first real major battle that we just kind of crushed because we know what we're doing. And Oh yeah, we can get to sell all of our stuff immediately. That's one other thing they added into this version of the game. Okay, so we can't get any monsters yet. I think we have to actually recruit them. So let me look at my character list. Because we all leveled up. Or just increase the max. I'll have to like figure that out a little bit better. So this is the special class for Canopus. He's a Vartan. And they're winged warriors with a light step on the battlefield, excellent at both melee and ranged attacks. So he's kind of like the exception because the other winged dudes aren't nearly as good at their like respective roles. Okay, so I can't use this on him. So I can use it on priests. Or clerics, whatever you want to call them. That's cool. I'm a little bit tempted, but I'll just chill for now. Because I would assume if we get light charms, we could also get dark charms, and that's pretty damn exciting for witches. Because there is less incentive to use dark magic on them, even though they could cast it, just because like it didn't get the damage bonus of the elements. So I'll go ahead and save again, even though I didn't do anything. I'm just kind of like that at times. So I'll go ahead and show off both possibilities. And I think I'll start with Kadriga and then go back to Almorica. I'll just reload. I won't like go through the entire battle, but just to kind of show this off. And then I'll probably end stream a little bit shortly here. Oh, okay, and now we get 8 slots, so that'll like fit Donalto. So the game does get a bit more robust as you go on, and you start the next battle.
Tracked me down, have you? Moldova's gone then. She harbored a rare appreciation for my research. Sad to see her pass. Though I envy her newfound vicinity to death. Yet it is not time to join her company. Perhaps we might come to an understanding. I care not who rules this island. Take it. It's yours. My siege of Almorica was a purely business venture, you see. A deal struck with the Hierophant to satisfy my curiosities. And what of it? Your precious castle is returned. What's done is done. Let me go free. The alternative... But no. The time it would take to destroy you is that much less time for my research. And I detest inefficiency.
You think it's JoJo's... a Speedwagon from JoJo, who's the VA. He kind of sounds like Volter from Bloodborne, or like King Vendrick, even. Or Jura? Obviously, I think maybe Jura. Yeah, Jura. Might be closer. So we get our choices. So there's actually like 3 choices presented to us, which is really cool.
Lay down your arms, and you will come to no harm. But you cannot go free. If you would do penance for your crimes, come to Almorica. I promise your life will be spared. Though, you will be our prisoner and treated no better than you deserve.
I approve. You forsake the chaotic nature of youth for the twin lights of reason and order. Yet I must decline. You may mean well, but there is no shortage of others who would see me hang. Even as I ask why we must fight, I accept the inevitability of the coming battle. Freedom's wage must be paid in full. Denizens of the Abyss, from ink of blackest night I summon you. Darkness to me.
Maybe not, Jura. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why I really appreciate the storytelling of this game, because there's something there's like a real human element to it. Like, all of these characters are kind of complex in their own ways. Like, we have Nybeth, who's fulfilling the trope of like a mad necromancer who's just reviving the dead, doing evil stuff, but he's also a very reasoned and temperate man. Like, you'd expect us...
Now, an experiment. Let us mix youth with danger and observe the reaction.
Like, you'd expect somebody like this to be more of like a cartoon villain, and there is that kind of like cartoon villainous aspect to him, but he does have bigger goals at hand that he does need to tend to, and that can be made clearer on depending on how you progress through the game. So even though we're given two options, we will come to a battle either way, but there will be ramification for those choices, believe it or not, further on down the line. So I wanted to show that off, and we'll just go ahead and interrupt and go into the other save file, or just like kind of go back if I can figure out how to control the damn game. Okay, so it'll be a different save. Okay. I should have said no, but it's whatever. Okay, autosave right there.
Tactics Ogre.
The Tactics Ogre thing is a little bit weird there. I don't have to worry about random battles anymore, which is kind of... It's a weird feeling, because there's always like a little bit of an apprehension going over an empty spot to get to someplace else. Oh yeah, I meant to also check my party, but I'll do that off stream. Bloomy says, it means he's a psychopath. He knows what he's doing and doesn't care. Seems reasonable while doing it. And that's another good point. Like, he is a psychopath. Maybe not psychopath. He's definitely a sociopath. He's not going to let good and bad block him from his goals, which I think is interesting.
Leonard has told me of the battle. You have served me well. I hope you continue to do so. You are to accompany Leonard to Fidok Castle, a Bakram holding.
Fidok Castle? Where the Dark Knights are garrisoned? Why there?
I want you to forge a treaty of non-interference before the real fighting with Golgastan begins. Not with the Bakram, mind, but with the Dark Knights of Lodis. We cannot have them hounding our flank while we are occupied with Golgastan.
But, Your Grace, it was the Bakram who brought on this war. Our parents died on Loslorian swords. Had they not aided the Bakram, how much suffering might we have been spared?
None know this better than I, Kashua. But consider what would happen were we to face such a foe in open battle. They would crush us. The Bakram people, overfed swine that they are no threat. Ah, but the Dark Knights, there is a foe to be feared. Which is why we must swear our allegiance to Lodis and ensure that they are no foe of ours.
So, Your Grace means to bend a knee to Lodis?
Tread carefully, Vice. I have told you, we are of one mind on this. I know the devil's bargain we make with Lodis. But it's only until we can deal with Golgastan and Balbatos. With the Dark Knights at bay, those opportunists in the Golgastani camp clamoring for war will fall silent. There's our chance. Once Balbatos is dead and buried, only then do we turn to strike the Bakram. What does our holy knight make of this? The Zenobian throne has no designs on Valeria. No Lodis there. Surely then King Tristan would not object to a treaty of non-interference. A gesture of support for our burgeoning state. Ah, but I forget, this has no bearing on you, Sir Lancelot. Forgive me. Well, the sooner you and Leonard have left for Fidok, the better. A purse of 5,000 Goths should help you see to your needs. I'll not have you depart unprepared.
So we can still do the Kadriga Fortress thing. And if we proceed here, it might go away entirely. I don't remember exactly how the stories branch out, which is why this game is replayable. And one aspect of like the replayability that I admire is that in this day of like using so many video guides to figure out what to do, this doesn't feel as punishing going back and like doing a fully blind playthrough and discovering it yourself, because there isn't like that high like a risk versus reward thing. You can always figure out what you did eventually and not have to like replay through like absolutely everything over and over and over just to see different outcomes. So I mean, you can still look up guides and that'll get you where you want faster for sure, but the game is very forgiving and more accommodating than most others, I think. And going back to like the story beat there, I really appreciate how we have our characters' goals clearly lined out for us. Like, we want to get revenge against the One-Eyed Lancelot and the Dark Knight's Lothlorien. However, there's some politics getting in the way of that. So there's going to be a little bit of a mismatch in seeing eye to eye with our compatriots at times, which is a really good characterization to me, because other characters in the games have their own goals and everybody is working to further their own goals, except for like the NPCs in our party, obviously. So this is a very dynamic game compared to some others, and this is a game that came out so long ago that I feel like other games could have turned to in terms of like figuring out like the branching story path and like coming up with more quality of life features to kind of make that all work and feel more modernized. So even though this game is so old, it still feels really fresh to me. And Methoda says, we have yet to battle any ogres, let alone Tactics Ogre. Are they all in the swamp? Sort of. So in some swamps, we can see like more monster type enemies. Maybe I'll be able to show... I'll show off like the next battle a little bit here. I'll just go ahead and scout ahead. Win with an archer in the party, win with a knight in the battle party. Okay. So I need to put in like one of the other two. So let's go ahead and... How do I go? Oh, I just need to keep going left. That's a little bit unintuitive. Okay, so it's not this battle. It's like the one beyond it, or the two beyond it. Alright, so that's all good. That'll be that, I think. So, can I go back to the main menu? I can't retreat from the battle. Okay, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Because I did want to like look back at the Warren reports just to see if things were different with like Nibeth and whatnot. But I think you guys understand very well like what the game is all about at this point. So I think this is a really good introductory stream and a good spot to stop. We've been going for quite a bit now. So for everybody who stopped in, thank you very much. And for everybody who's chatted and lurked, you all have a good night. And I hope to catch you on the next one. Take care and have a good night.